Hello and welcome to the final episode of Sports Opinion for the year 2013. My name's Dirk Keller. We're all together. Here's Bob Boyd.
Hi, Dirk.
Bud Supple, one last time this year. Bud Supple, he'll be taking off on assignment. Very long and detailed assignment. And as usual, Earl Murphy's back. We're all here together one last time. This is our last show of the year. The public access TV studios will be closing down through no fault of our own for the holiday season. And so our next show will be on Wednesday, January 8th. So we thought today we would take a look back at last week's Hawkeye men's and women's basketball games, take a look forward at what's coming up for basketball and wrestling, and then we're going to make our bowl picks.
Whoa.
College football bowl picks are coming up. But first, Bud, you want to talk about somebody special to this community.
Yeah, I want to talk about Jack Bowles, a longtime referee in Iowa City. I'm sure most of you have known him. He was a partner with Jimmy Jensen for a long time, and Bob Ollis when they went to 30. And the three of them also carried the chain over the University of Iowa for probably 40 years.
Long time.
Really? That long?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bob was over
Chain
there.
gang.
They had signals to Bud Supple, too.
Huh?
They had signals to you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good, right.
Shame on
That
you.
was the number one thing I said on the west side, of course, and they carried the chain on the east side.
Right?
And every time there was a first down,
They'd
they'd
do
put up one and wave the thing.
They would.
And if we didn't make it, two would go up and the thing wouldn't move.
The chain wouldn't move?
How do you remember that?
You told us.
Oh, okay.
They had their own little routine of signals to their friends. So.
Did he work the sidelines this season?
Oh, no.
No. I think they're all retired.
Yeah. I think probably the last time they worked the sidelines was maybe 7, 8 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jimmy
I mean-
Jensen, too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim's 76.
Now, they
Jack
do have
Bowles would've
referees
been-
from the association, though. They're
Yeah.
Johns County Association.
Oh,
And I don't know exactly who they all are or anything.
Jack, who just passed away, would be, I'd say, probably in the 78, 79 area as far as age.
what did he die from?
I'm not.
I think eventually cancer took
Yeah,
him.
he's
It
been
looks
sick
like
for a couple of years.
Yeah,
Murph.
hard time breathing, and I don't
Yeah.
understand all this stuff. But I mean, he's been down for 2 or 3 years, but
Yeah,
he
on
still
oxygen.
go to his cabin. He had a cabin on the Cedar, and he went down there all
Is
the
he up there
time.
by you?
No, he's down south towards Muscatine.
I see.
But he also was retired from the Iowa City Community School District. So anyway, to Jack, his family, you have our sympathies, and he's a good guy and a lot of fun, and had a lot of friends in the community. So
God bless his soul.
God
And
bless
through the
his
state,
soul.
they made the state tournament several times.
yeah,
Oh, yeah?
he's a very good official. Yep,
Good deal. Well, bless his memory.
that's right.
We want to talk about the rivalry week. We don't really want to talk about it. But last week was rivalry week. Try saying that 3 times fast.
That'd be tough.
Iowa State and Iowa played each other in men's and women's basketball last week. First off was the Thursday night game in Ames. And quite frankly, the women just got mowed over by like baby bunnies. It wasn't pretty. And noticed right at the end of the game, mowing over baby bunnies is never pretty. It breaks your heart.
Yeah.
And that game kind of broke my heart. I thought we'd see a better fight out of the Iowa women. But Iowa State, I should back up and say, the Iowa women are still ranked number 22 in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa State is ranked number 15 now. I think they were 17 going into that game,
Yeah.
and they're now number 15. Iowa State's undefeated. The Iowa women now have a 10-2 record, which is identical to the men's record, 10-2. The women lost 83-70, and towards the end of the game, Lisa Bluter put the press on when Bill Fenley brought in his bench players. And the Hawkeyes started forcing some turnovers. Well, Fenley didn't like it, and he put his starters back in the game at the end. And there were some harsh words. Leave it to Bill Fenley. You weren't here last week, but we had Pat White on, and we talked a
Yes.
little bit about the Cyclones women's basketball coach, and you know, he's just a
You know,
he's a prick.
been watching girls and boys basketball for a long time. And if one team's way behind, this happens all the time. The team that's winning wants their other players to get in, and the ones that are losing is trying to do the best they can. I
Right.
mean, this is
Right.
just a bunch of baloney, I think.
Well, that's Iowa
But,
State.
but
for
they're
you.
just
You
jealous
can't-
yet,
Yeah.
and we're going to bowl and we're winning this. You know, they can't stand. That's all
No.
they look for is playing Iowa.
Yep, that was their Super Bowl.
Well, Finley's personality leaves a lot to be desired, but, you know, you can't argue with his success.
No.
He's won a lot of, over 400 games in there. And,
He's turned their program around,
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
filled the place
yeah,
with students and other fans. So you got to give him that. But
We'll
like
get
Pat
him
White
next year.
said, I would not let my daughter play for him.
yeah.
He's verbally abusive, and I suspect sometimes physically abusive. But
Yeah.
yeah, he is what he is. And the Iowa State Cyclones deserve credit for they put that game away quick. It was just a blowout from the get go.
Well, and as we know, I
First
mean,
of all, playing up there,
yes,
you don't have a chance.
Hilton's tough place
Now
to
wait
play.
till they come here. What happened last year? We beat them here.
We beat 'em.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
you know, this stuff that they're better than our is not true. They're fans up there, and they said all the students where you make the free throws, and, you know, they're just
Iowa
bad,
does the same thing.
but we don't tear the roof off the place.
I wish we did.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, I for years, I think we've all felt bad that, you know, the Iowa women's teams, Lisa's teams have been consistently very good. And, you know, they average maybe 3,000 or 3,200 fans a game.
And they're in the top 20 in
Yeah.
attendance.
And it amazes me that the average attendance for women's games up there in Ames is like, you know, 10,000.
I don't. Is it average or?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, that's average,
Yeah.
10, 11,000.
Well, that's
Yeah,
about
it's one
what
of the
they
tops
had.
in the country. And that's a tough place to win at, you know, for men and women, as we know, and always has been.
I was thinking the women averaged about 7,000, and they got 10 or 11 for the Iowa game.
Well, they,
Thursday night.
no, I think
No?
they,
Their average is higher than
Is
that.
it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, they packed the place Friday night for the men's game,
Yes.
and Iowa, the Iowa men, now ranked number 25, lost a heartbreaker, 85-82, to the Cyclones, who are now ranked number 17. Iowa State's 9-0, undefeated, and that was one of those. It was a classic game. You know, like everybody here, I think we all looked forward to that game Friday night. Just couldn't wait for it to start. You knew it was going to be one of the good ones, but
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I did not expect the pace that Iowa set. Iowa controlled the tempo of that game from start to finish. And every time Iowa State would make a wave and come back, Iowa had an answer
Yeah, they did.
until the last 90 seconds.
Free throws.
Yep. It was a heartbreaker.
It
But-
was.
yeah, especially the men's game.
Yeah.
Yes.
35 free throws.
Yep.
That is bad.
Well, and that was the tale
That
for
is
both
bad.
men and women. The disparity in free throw attempts.
Yes.
Right. And a lot of those were not fouls.
Nope.
They were
Oh,
blocked
no.
shots. They
Oh,
were
I
not.
agree.
You know, I'm like Father John. Said, we got Father Steve awful upset about the referee. He says, I'm not going into it, but he's going to preach 9:30. Ask him about it. I get Father Steve was so upset with the referees.
Oh, I
No,
woke
I mean
up.
Father Steve. He told Father John, yeah.
Well, there were a lot of ticky-tack calls on Iowa underneath the basket. And that was a result of Iowa pressuring Iowa State outside the perimeter. They wanted to force Iowa State to put the ball inside where we had an advantage in height and numbers. And Iowa just accomplished everything it wanted to do. But even when they would stand there with their arms straight up, the refs were calling fouls.
That's right. Absolutely.
And it just
right.
drove me nuts. And you know, the nice thing is Iowa's got
Get
a
used to it. The
deep
Big
bench.
Ten's around the corner.
I think the Big Ten lets it go a little bit.
Well, they have prior to this season.
Yeah,
but
I've
new
watched the
rules
Big
will see.
Ten.
But see, this is different. They're calling the hand check out front, and honestly, I don't have a problem with it because there's been too much hand checking, and hand checking is more than just touching
Oh, yeah,
an
they're-
opponent with the
They're
ball.
roughing them up.
That's right. That's right. But under the basket, the Big Ten has always let things go. They let it, it's a level above high school. But this game Friday night, I thought, at least in the paint, was called like a high school game. Anything, just
Well, you
any
know who
brush.
one of the referees was,
Sanzier.
and I wouldn't allow him
Okay,
to come to our stadium.
he referees, Mike Sanzier referees that
Yeah,
game
well, yeah.
Friday night, doesn't get over till 11 o'clock. 10 o'clock, Saturday morning, he is in Michigan refereeing the Michigan
Well,
versus
yeah,
number
okay.
one Arizona game.
I didn't know
Really?
that.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
smoke.
Now, how do you pull that off?
Yeah. We get rid of Hightower, and then we end up getting him now.
Sanzier, Mike Sanzier. He's the little tiny guy.
Yeah, did Hightower finally retire?
He
He's
will be
going to
done.
in January 9th, I think.
No, it's December 31st. He's done. And he's doing,
That's good news.
I believe he's doing the Arkansas Pine Bluff game
Oh, wonderful.
Sunday. The
Our
Hawkeye
last
men.
non-conference,
yeah.
great.
Ed Hightower, the African American ref, who has been pretty demonstrative. Actually, I thought in the old days he was a very good ref, but somewhere along the line, in my opinion, he went Hollywood, and he
Yeah.
had to control and be the front center of attention every game.
He's got a pretty big ego.
It sure seems.
He sure does.
Oh,
Sure does. That's the
Yeah.
number one thing.
But, you know what? Still, you can talk about the officiating all you want about the Iowa State game, bad calls, this and that. However, we should have won the game.
Yeah.
And we would have won the game,
Make our free throws.
make your free throws. So
and make
they
good
had
chip
the
shots.
opportunity, and this team, as we all know, they're 10-2, soon to be 11-2. But they could be undefeated and in the top 10 practically.
Yeah.
I mean, Villanova's what's Villanova?
Jeez,
They
they're
have
ranked
not
number
lost.
7 or 10.
Yeah.
They're,
They have
they're
not
top
lost.
10 for sure.
Who knew about
Well,
Villanova when they
and
beat
look
us?
what
in the tournament?
Xavier's done. They beat Notre Dame. They beat.
Yeah.
They beat. So those rankings. I don't understand those. Look at Kansas, 4 losses. Now should they still be in there on top of us?
No.
They're getting by on their recruiting.
Reputation.
Yeah,
ranking.
right.
Yeah. And you know what? If we'd have played Kansas in that tournament, we'd have beat them.
Oh, yeah.
I think
I think so too.
And
They
that's what
haven't
we
even-
all wanted to see
they
happen
haven't
instead of playing
started
Villanova.
play.
But
yeah.
Kansas is going to be tough coming into the year. Those
Well,
young
so will
kids.
we.
Yep.
So will we.
They
And
got young kids that are just now learning how to play college ball. We've got seniors on our team that I fully expect to take over and lead. Guys like Devin Marble, guys like Melsan Basabi, and guys like
McCabe.
McCabe had a wide open 3-pointer at the end of that Iowa State
Oh.
game, and he's our top 3-point shooter right now.
Yeah.
And it just didn't fall.
No, we had a lot that didn't fall.
Yeah. But we also tried to call a timeout on the rebound of McCabe's missed 3-pointer, and the referees didn't give it to us.
No, and that's bad.
It was bad.
That was bad, and they knew it.
Yeah,
That's the bad thing about it. They knew it.
we had the ball, and
But he wanted to get out of there so he could get to Michigan.
that's right. He had a Michigan game to do.
Yeah, right.
Yep. So
Well, that's a tough loss. How does that, with Iowa State beating the women and the men, what's the point thing with the Cy Hawk Trophy? Where's that at? Do we
I don't know. We
uh,
had it.
I don't follow that stuff.
I don't either, but I mean, why not? You know, I just.
Well, we had it.
What grinds my
Yeah.
gears is every year that the Iowa State games, men and women, are played the week before finals, and so there's no game for at least a week, 8-9 days
Yeah.
most often, and you got to sit there and gnaw on that bone
Yeah.
for a week.
Well, we'll get them next
But
year.
when
I'm
we beat
convinced.
them, they got to gnaw on the same bone. you
That's
know?
true.
Yeah.
We, had,
I-
we outplayed them. We outdid everything. But when the darn thing, they won it on free throws. They
Yeah.
made their free
Yeah.
throws.
Well, I will tell you this: if I were the coach, they'd have been shooting free throws all day on Sunday or Saturday.
I guarantee you, Mike Gasell went back home and shot free throws. You know, I don't know about you guys, but when Mike Gasell was handed the ball at the free throw line, down 1 point, I thought, best man to have up there.
Well, he shoots 86%
Yeah.
for the year, from
And he
from
misses
line.
both.
Yeah.
Now, the Hawks shot really well free throws. They shot free throws very well the whole night until the end.
Yeah.
Something I don't know what's going on with Devin Marble and his free throw shooting,
Yeah,
because last year he was an 80+% free throw shooter. This year he's barely above 60%. And I don't know if it's focus or what, but he's a senior and he needs to step it up. I thought Woodbury played his best game of the year,
Yeah.
or of his career, excuse me.
Yeah, and he
Um,
needed to, by
And,
the way.
and Aaron White, yeah, he did. And you could tell
He's our best player.
this
as
whole
far
team
as
was
I'm
pumped
Yeah.
up. The Iowa boys
What was that?
on that Iowa
Right.
roster were geared up for this game. Woodbury, Gasell. How about the pace of the game that Gasell set? That was his best game ever for the Hawks. He brought that ball up flawlessly up the court,
Yeah.
fast, and he set the tempo. I mean, it was just a tremendous
Wait
game
till
to
next year.
watch.
Oh, he's really more comfortable finally at the point.
Yeah.
Not at the number one position, wouldn't you say? I mean,
Yeah.
that's where he's playing
That's
most of
where
the
he
time now.
belongs.
Yeah.
Did you get it on TV?
No.
I didn't either.
What?
I listened to it on the radio. It wasn't on TV nationally.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't get it. I tried it.
What was it on? It was on
ESPNU?
ESPNU.
Oh, I don't get it. ESPN.
You sure?
Where-
You
Never.
sure you don't get it?
Well, I didn't get it either.
I'll be
A
darned.
lot of people did.
Well, it was a tremendous game,
Yep.
incredibly entertaining. And again, Iowa, I think what upset me most is how well the Hawks played the entire game and still lost.
Right. They'd get down to just 2 points ahead, and they bring it right back
Yeah.
to 7.
Would
Yeah.
you see what Hoiberg said about the Hawks? He's pretty impressed with this team.
Well,
And
he oughta
very
be.
complimentary about what Fran McCaffrey has done with this unit. And he, basically said they're going to be a real tough out come tournament time.
I think they looked like a Sweet 16 team in Ames. They looked real solid on the road.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
I didn't like what the coach made a comment, though.
What'd he
in his
say?
paper. I don't think I'd make a comment. I deliberately told our players to foul them.
Oh.
It's in the Gazette today.
That was on the 3-point shot by McCabe.
Well, they didn't come close to fouling him.
No, the player didn't get the message. I
No,
don't think.
that was a
so
blown
loud he
assignment.
couldn't hear what was going on. I guess.
But I don't think I'd make that kind of statement.
Yeah.
That sours me on.
Now, I read something.
Who said,
The coach
Hoiberg.
said he told his players to deliberately foul them.
Okay.
Well, the reason is then they go to the line for a 1-and-1, and they wouldn't get the opportunity to shoot the 3-point and tie it.
Right.
So that's what he was trying to
Yeah, I know, but
relay. Yeah.
Did you, I don't know if you guys read the Gazette the day after, but Mike Halas
Yeah.
was at the game, and he said it was not only loud in Hilton, but when Gasell and Marble stepped up to the free throw line late in the game, he said it was like an earthquake was going on. You could feel the floor
Shaking.
vibrating.
Yeah.
That's,
see, well, that's what I was talking about. And they didn't do that earlier in the game.
no. And Iowa State shot poorly from the free throw line. They kept,
Yeah,
they kept
they
us
had 35.
ahead.
They had 35 attempts and only did 15,
Yeah,
20.
something like that.
You know, it wasn't very good.
And I still, people are praising Iowa State, and they're obviously ranked number 17 now. But I just don't see that team being a higher ranked team than Iowa. And I'm prejudiced, and
See, here's the ranking that counts. The end of the season,
that's right.
not now.
That's right.
Yeah. We'll see how it all works out.
I thought Iowa State looked overwhelmed, and if it wasn't for that one big guy, Niang,
Yeah.
and all the fouls he got called on Iowa underneath.
Well, we're really fact that they're not that good. Northern Iowa had a 20-point
Yeah.
lead on them
And blew it.
at halftime and blew
Yeah,
it.
gee. That's
Blew it.
amazing.
It was a lot of fun to watch that game. I went up to the Hilltop Tavern, and that place was just rocking. Everybody was so happy to see
Yeah.
that pace and all the action,
Yeah.
and it was just nonstop
That was a great game.
until a minute and a half to go,
Did
Yeah.
you go?
and everybody just got up and left like I did. I said, "Cash me out.
I'm out of here.
I'm done."
Did you go first chance and last chance?
What's
What'd
that?
you do? Well, they used to have signs as you come in. It was your first chance to stop.
No.
Oh,
And
no.
when you went out,
Nah,
it's
they
your
don't.
last chance.
Nah, they don't have that anymore. Nah.
Yeah.
So the men have a home game against the mighty Arkansas Pine Bluff Travelers, or whatever their name is,
Yeah.
Sunday at 1:00. The women And that game on Sunday, I hate to tell you guys this, but it's not on TV again. It's on ESPN3. So if you wanted to get on your computer, I guess if you're a MediaCom subscriber, you can watch it. The women's game against Drake is 4 o'clock on Saturday. And it's on MediaCom 22, Connections
Okay,
22.
Right.
Also, I should point out that Hy-Vee in Iowa City and Coralville are giving away free tickets for the game against Drake. So, come on out.
The women's game?
Yeah, go to Hy-Vee and get some
Yep.
free tickets.
Well,
yeah.
I think the men's game's $5 too.
For Arkansas Pine Bluff? It ought to be, because that's a stinky opponent.
Well, and the students will be gone, so
Yep.
they'll have some seats available.
They will. There might not be any seats available Saturday night at
Yeah.
Carver Hawkeye Arena. We've got a humdinger of a wrestling meet. Do people say humdinger anymore?
Well,
Joe,
Humdinger.
do
yeah,
people
that's
still
good.
say humdinger? Okay.
Yeah.
That was one of my dad's.
Humdinger?
Humdinger. Penn State, the number 1 ranked Penn State wrestling team with Cale Sanderson as coach.
Yep.
They're coming to town for an 8 o'clock meet with the Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes are ranked number 3. This is a meet that's not going to count in the Big Ten standings because originally the two teams were not scheduled to meet one another. And Tom Brands and Cale Sanderson got together on the phone in September and said, that's wrong.
Yeah.
And so they arranged to have this meet on a Saturday night. The Big Ten Network is going to have it live, which, for wrestling, it's really cool.
Very
There's going to be a
much.
lot of people that are going to get to watch this thing across the country, and it's going to hopefully be sold out. They've got about 1,000, maybe 1,500 tickets left, and it's going to be a
those
lot
will
of
go.
fun.
Now,
I'll be
what's
there.
that considered in wrestling?
What do you mean? What's it considered?
Sellout, is it 15,000?
15.5, I think.
Yeah.
15.5.
Same as basketball, but
Same as basketball, okay. I
It's
wasn't
a
sure.
little
Well,
it's
they-
a little less because they don't have as many. They don't put the same kind of chairs on the floor.
okay.
But they
Okay.
do have a student section. In fact, I heard Luke Eustace this morning on the radio say that 350 students have already signed up to be there Saturday night. And that's the weekend after finals, So there are some students who are rabid wrestling fans.
Oh, that's great. they're gonna be
And
there.
they'll
Wow.
be in attendance. Earl, are you going to go to the meet?
Sure.
Are you?
No, I want to watch it on TV.
On the Big Ten
Oh,
Network.
yeah.
I'll be there with my boy.
Yeah, well,
And,
another thing now I read, to clear this up, because there was an article about when the girls' basketball packed the stadium with 19,000.
For women's the Iowa women's
All right, and they got in trouble with the fire
Ohio
marshal.
State game,
That's right.
They got in trouble with the fire
21,
marshal.
22,000.
Right,
That's when Vivian
because they
Stringer
want to
was
keep
here.
selling tickets for this one,
Mhm.
but the university says you're going to have to go talk to the fire marshal.
Yep.
Did they do that or not?
They're going to try to, but I think the odds are against them because they've got the wrestling meet at 8 o'clock, and it's going to be, from what I'm reading in between the lines, it's going to be hard for them to make special concessions for seating on the floor and up above on the concourse, which is what they'd have to do to break the record. Penn State recently broke the all-time attendance record for a
Okay.
wrestling duel
Right.
when they entertained Pittsburgh University. They got 15,900 something, and our record was 15.5 or 15.6, right around there. So Terry Brands and Tom Brands would like to break the record, but I don't think it's gonna happen. What they're gonna try to do, I think, though, see, we've got Minnesota and Oklahoma State here this year.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna try to do it for one of those.
Okay.
Well, and the students will be here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now-
Exactly.
Now,
School will be in session.
is it this weekend?
Yeah, Saturday night.
Well, they
8
probably
o'clock.
have trouble because they'll have graduation in there.
And that was the
Saturday.
other thing. They have graduation.
All
Yep.
right.
So they got all kinds
Okay.
of issues and events going on
Okay.
at Carver Hawkeye Saturday and Friday. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be tough to pull it all off.
Okay.
But don't discount the Hawkeye wrestling fan because they'll be there if they can. I think weather's going to play a role in it too. I see we're expecting more snow tomorrow, maybe tonight even.
Yeah.
So
Freezing rain maybe over
Yeah.
the weekend, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But they'll have plenty of people there.
Yep,
Penn State's ranked 1, we're
Number
ranked
one.
what, 4?
we're number 3.
3, okay,
Yep, Minnesota's number 2.
yeah.
I think Okie State's number 4. So same old, just kind of shuffle the deck and
Well, Penn State's had her number for a while.
yeah, they have.
So
And they've won 3 straight national titles.
That's right.
Iowa used to be the only team to do that. Not anymore.
I'd say Sanderson made a pretty good move, huh?
Yeah.
Going from Iowa State to Penn State.
Pretty good for him.
he knew what he
Not
was
so
doing.
good for Iowa State, though.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Earl, you ready to make some college football
Sure.
bowl picks?
Bowl picks.
Bowl picks.
All right.
Let's see. We've got, Joe, I show that we've got about 40 minutes. Is that about right? Maybe less? Okay. We're going to talk college football bowl games. And, guys, bowl season starts Saturday. We've got 4 bowl games on
Whoa.
Saturday.
Okay.
And we start off with the Gildan, New Mexico Bowl, featuring Colorado State versus Washington State.
Colorado State had a fair season,
They did. And
and Washington just fair.
let's see here. I got to get my.
Yeah.
There we go. So let's see. Colorado State was 7-6, and Washington State was 6-6. Colorado State is the Mountain West Conference, and of course, Washington State is the Pac-12. Washington State finished 7th in the Pac-12. Colorado State 4th in the Mountain West. Game is in Albuquerque, New Mexico, the Gildan, New Mexico Bowl. The computer's picking Colorado State by almost 3 points.
I'll pick Washington State.
Okay. I got to figure out a route. Let's see here.
Are you going to figure out a routine here?
Okay, you got Washington State, Bob.
Yeah.
Bud
Washington State.
and Earl.
Colorado State.
I'm with Earl.
Okay.
All right. Next up is the Las Vegas Bowl. Joe, you know where they play the Las Vegas Bowl?
I think it was.
This year it's featuring 11-1 Fresno State, number 1 in the Mountain West Conference, versus USC at 9-4. USC finished 5th in the Pac-12, and the computers are picking USC by a slight hair. What say you, Bob?
USC.
Okay. Bud?
I'll go with Fresno State.
Fresno State. Earl? What do you think, Earl? USC or Fresno State?
USC.
That's what I'm sticking with, too.
Okay.
All right, next up is the famous Idaho Potato Bowl.
Oh, yeah, one of my favorites.
Now, Bob, guess where they play the famous Idaho Potato Bowl?
Boise.
Very good guess. This game will feature the San Diego State at 7-5 versus Buffalo at 8-4. Buffalo finished 3rd in the MAC conference, and San Diego State finished 6th in the Mountain West Conference.
Are we doing this by age?
By age? Yeah, let's do that.
You
Earl?
First, Earl.
Earl, you're first. The computer picks Buffalo by 2.5 points.
What's the opposition?
San Diego State at 7-5.
I'm over San Diego State.
All right. Let's see. Bud, that'd be you next.
Okay, San Diego State.
Bud. Bob.
San Diego State.
And I'm going with Buffalo.
Okay.
Okay. Now we have the New Orleans Bowl played in.
New Orleans, I bet.
This features the number 1 team in the Sun Belt Conference versus the number 7 team in Conference USA. Louisiana Lafayette is the Sun Belt representative with an 8-3 record, and they will be playing Tulane, who has a 7-5 record. Again, Tulane, they're based in New Orleans. They're playing a home game, basically.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick Tulane.
These are both Louisiana teams. The computer is picking Louisiana Lafayette by almost 4 points.
Okay.
You got Tulane.
Yeah.
Bud?
I'm taking Tulane after they beat Iowa State.
Oh, yeah.
Did they beat them?
Louisiana Lafayette.
You got it. And I'm going with Bob on that. Louisiana Lafayette.
Okay.
Okay, next up is the Beef O'Brady Bowl. You know, I should back up and tell you, the Albuquerque Bowl pays out just under $500,000 to each team. The Las Vegas Bowl pays $1.1 million. The famous Idaho Bowl pays $325,000.
Or a truck of potatoes.
Or a big sack of taters.
Yeah.
The New Orleans Bowl pays $500,000. The Beef O'Brady Bowl pays just over $500,000. It will feature the number 6 team in the American Conference versus the number 5 team in Conference USA. That would be Ohio at 7-5 and East Carolina at 9-3. The computer is picking East Carolina by over 10 points.
I am too.
Earl's got East Carolina.
I do too.
Bud's
East
got East
Carolina.
Carolina. Bob's got East Carolina, and I got East Carolina.
Wow.
Okay,
Unanimous.
we're all in agreement. Central Conference USA is going to win that game.
Okay.
Alrighty then. Now we have the Hawaii Bowl. Joe, any guesses on where the Hawaii Bowl is played? This features Hawaii, and this is true. It's either always going to feature Hawaii or the Midwest or the Mountain West Conference number 5 team versus the Conference USA's number 2 team. Hawaii's not playing in the Hawaii Bowl this year.
No.
It will feature Boise State at 8-4 versus Oregon State at 6-6. Now Oregon State's in the Pac-12, so that doesn't make any sense.
Something's
It's
wrong.
Conference USA. Anyway, the computer is picking Boise State by less than 2 points. Again, this is the Hawaii Bowl.
Okay.
Earl,
Who's playing in it?
Oregon State from the Pac-12 at 6-6 versus Boise State with an 8-4 record.
Oregon.
Earl's got Oregon State.
Boise
Bud?
State. They're
Bud's
bringing
got
the
Boise.
bluegrass with them.
Boise.
Bob, and I'm going Boise too.
Okay.
All right. Next up, the Little Bud's least favorite bowl game, the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl in Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah.
It's the day after Christmas, and it's one of only 2 bowl games on the day after Christmas. This features Bowling Green at 10-3, who is the number 2 team in the MAC conference. Isn't Bowling Green the one that knocked off Northern
That's-
Illinois?
They are, yes.
So I'm
And-
taking Bowling Green. Don't even tell me.
And
who
they're
the
going to
team-
play Pittsburgh at 6-6.
Boy, Pittsburgh's pretty darn good. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh.
Computer's picking Bowling Green by 13 points, but you're
Okay.
going to take Pitt.
I'm
Yeah.
taking
Earl's got Pitt. Bud?
Bowling Green.
Bowling Green.
And I'm going Bowling Green. Next up, the Poinsettia Bowl in San Diego, California. This game pays out $500,000 to each team. It's also on the night after Christmas,
Okay.
and it will feature Utah State at 8-5. They were number 2 in the Mountain West Conference versus Northern Illinois at 12-1. Again, played in San Diego with Utah State facing Northern Illinois. Computer picks Utah State by 4 points. Earl, what do you think?
Northern Illinois.
Northern Illinois.
Northern Illinois.
I am in agreement with you. We're all going for Northern Illinois.
Okay.
We're going to buck the system, and I think Northern Illinois is too. Unless that team that played Bowling Green shows up. Holy cow, is that bad? Okay, so now we move to December 27th, and the Military Bowl, held in Annapolis, Maryland, which happens to be home of the Naval Academy. I've been there before. It's pretty cool. The Military Bowl will feature the number 8 team in the ACC, Maryland, at 7-5. This will be their last game as a member of the ACC, versus Marshall at 9-4. So Maryland at 7-5 versus Marshall at 9-4. The computer is picking Marshall by over 12.5 points.
Kidding.
I'll pick Maryland.
Earl's got Maryland.
I'll take Maryland.
Bud's got Maryland.
Marshall.
I'm with you, Bob. It's Marshall all the way. That was not a good Maryland.
What do you know about Marshall?
Nothing.
I saw them. I saw them play a couple
Zero.
times this year. You know, they're in the MAC, aren't they? Or are they in Conference USA?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Conference USA, I think.
Okay. I saw them play at least twice this year, and they weren't bad.
On TV?
Yeah, uh-huh. I saw them play. Didn't Marshall just play Thanksgiving weekend? I think they did.
I don't know.
Well, I
think
think
they
we all
did.
did.
And I've seen Maryland play, and they stink.
Hopefully they'll stink next year when they come in the Big Ten.
I think
They
they
play
will.
Iowa too.
Yeah,
We play them, you're right.
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
now we have the Texas Bowl, and that is played in Houston, Texas on December 27th. That would be Friday night after Christmas.
Okay.
And it would feature the number 6 team in the Big Ten versus the number 6 team in the Big 12. The payout is $1.7 million. Each team gets that
Okay.
for the Texas Bowl, featuring Minnesota at 8-4 versus Syracuse at 6-6. Clearly, Syracuse is not a Big 12 team, so this is part of that, how bowls
Yeah.
pick and
Yep.
swap. And so we got Minnesota 8-4 versus Syracuse 6-6. The computer is picking Minnesota by over almost 6 points. Earl, what say you?
I think I'll go with Minnesota.
Okay,
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
we're all in agreement. I think Minnesota slobber knocks Syracuse. I've seen Syracuse play, and they were not very good this year. The next is the Fight Hunger Bowl, held in San Francisco. Payout is $837,000, also on Friday night after Christmas. This will feature the number 6 team from the Pac-12 in Washington, 8-4 record, versus BYU, and they also have an 8-4 record. The computer is picking Washington by over 2 points. What say you, Earl? Washington versus BYU.
I'll take BYU.
Okay,
Washington.
Washington.
and I'm going to take BYU. Okay. The Pinstripe Bowl in Bronx, New York.
Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, this pays out $1.8 million, and it will feature a 6-6 Rutgers team. Their last game in before they joined the Big Ten, versus Notre Dame at 8-4. Notre Dame is nearly an 18-point favorite.
I thought it'd be more than that.
Yeah, I'll pick
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Okay,
The Irish.
I don't care if I lose that one.
I think Rutgers is going to get them. I don't know why. Mainly because Notre Dame's such a big favorite. Notre Dame's kind of been
Yeah.
they've just been flat this year.
They have been.
Yeah. Okay, next we have a bowl I've never heard of before. It's called the Belk Bowl. B-E-L-K. I'm looking to see if there's another name for that. Belk Bowl. It's played on Saturday afternoon after Christmas in Charlotte, North Carolina. And it features 9-3 Cincinnati versus 6-6 North Carolina.
Ooh.
So North Carolina is basically playing at home. The Belk, the
Belk Bowl.
Belk. That's all it is. Just Belk.
And North Carolina's really been coming along the
I'll
last
pick them.
6 games.
The computer picks North Carolina by a hair. So you got North Carolina, Earl?
And I
You
got
too,
North
bud?
Carolina.
And Bob, what do you think? Cincinnati or
Yeah,
North
I'm
Carolina?
taking Cincinnati.
I am too. They've got a better record, and that's about all I know.
That's right, me too.
I think no, it's not all I know. They played Northern Illinois really tough. Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's got a good program.
Yeah,
North Carolina's building theirs.
yeah.
Yeah.
North Carolina finished 5th in the ACC with a 6-6 record.
Yeah.
I think they were a little disappointing this year. I think they expected more out of North Carolina this year. The Russell Athletic Bowl, held in Orlando, Florida on Saturday after Christmas. This pays out $2.3 million,
Yep.
and it will feature 11-1 Louisville versus 9-3 Miami. Louisville finished number 2 in the American Conference. Miami finished number 3 in the ACC Conference. The computer is picking Louisville by over 5 points. Miami playing in Florida versus Louisville. What do you think, Earl?
I'll pick Miami.
Louisville.
You got Louisville, bud?
Louisville.
This is one bowl that we gave up.
The Russell Athletic Bowl?
Well, it wasn't called it that.
What it used to be called?
Trying to think.
Oh,
I think we went 1 year to it too.
drawing a blank.
I mean, not the Capital One.
No, not thinking
okay.
Capital
No,
One.
but they're in the same
Same.
stadium.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to take Miami because it's kind of like a home game for them.
okay.
We'll see. The Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl in Tempe, Arizona. This will be played on Saturday night late after Christmas. The payout is $3.3 million, and it will feature the number 4 team in the Big 12, Kansas State, with a 7-5 record, versus the number 5 team in the Big 10, Michigan, with a 7-5 record also. The computer is taking Kansas State by a hair, less than half a point. What do you say, Earl? Michigan or Kansas State? Bill Snyder.
Kansas State.
Yep.
Kansas State.
Yep.
Michigan.
And
Go Big Ten.
I'm taking Kansas State.
Boy, you guys are going to be sorry.
I don't care.
Now,
who
where's
wins.
that game at?
That is in Tempe, Arizona.
Yep.
I think Michigan
Okay.
fans are going to be very blasé about
Yeah.
that and about attendance. I think Kansas State fans are going to be tickled to get out of Manhattan, Kansas,
They'll be there.
and go to Tempe and eat some
Yeah.
Tostitos.
Well, and Snyder's really got things
Oh.
going there.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Again,
Named the stadium after him. That's pretty
Oh,
good.
did good,
he
yeah.
deserves that,
That's
doesn't
right.
He deserves that.
Well, next up, there are no bowl games on Sunday after Christmas. But on Monday after Christmas, December 30th, we have the Armed Forces Bowl in Fort Worth, Texas, featuring Middle Tennessee with an 8-4 record versus Navy with a 7-4 record. Did you guys see that Navy game last week?
No.
They killed Army?
Holy cow. In the snow, it was just coming barreling down buckets of
Yeah.
snow.
What was the score of that game?
Oh, 30-something.
they beat 'em
they,
bad.
Yeah, they
Army had 7, I remember that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Navy just butt whipped them. It was bad. The computer is picking Navy by almost 5 points. What say you, Earl Murphy?
I'll take that.
You got Navy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take Navy.
Navy,
We're all in agreement here.
yeah.
I think Navy's going to take it. Middle Tennessee. Okay, next up on Monday night, or I'm sorry, Monday after. These are afternoon games on Monday. Monday the 30th. Music City Bowl in Nashville, Tennessee, featuring 7-5 Georgia Tech versus 7-5 Mississippi. This would be the number 6 team in the ACC versus the number 7 team in the SEC, the Southeastern Conference.
Yep.
So the computer's picking, believe it or not, Georgia Tech by almost 5 points over Mississippi. What do you say, Earl?
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech. Bud?
I'm going with Mississippi.
Mississippi for me.
Me too. Me too. I think computer's nuts there. Next up is the Alamo Bowl, also on Monday. This one is at 5:45. And just about every single one of these games, by the way, is on ESPN.
Okay.
It's just, phew. Okay, the Alamo Bowl in San Antonio is a $3.2 million payout for each team. It features the number 3 team in the Big 12, which is Texas, with an 8-4 record. This will be Mac Brown's last game as head coach. Keep that in mind. Versus the number 2 team in the Pac-12. Big 12, Pac-12. Number 2 team in the Pac-12 is Oregon with a 10-2 record. The computer is favoring Oregon by 7 points. Earl? Think Mac Brown's last game is going to be an emotional?
I think that it starting off that way.
Yeah. You got Texas?
I'm picking him.
What about you, Bud?
Oregon.
Bob?
Texas.
I am going with Earl and Bob on this one. I think Texas is going to do it for Mac Brown.
You know, that's one of the best bowls that I've ever gone to.
The Alamo Bowl?
Darn right.
Yeah, I've heard a
Yeah.
lot of Hawkeye fans say
Me
that.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that, Texas is playing right there in San Antonio.
Yeah.
That one of the most enjoyable games
Yeah,
I've ever been.
me too.
Yeah.
Next up is the Holiday Bowl, which pays a little over $2 million for each of its participants, held in San Diego. That will be also on Monday after Christmas. This is a night game at 9:15. It will feature the number 5 team from the Big 12, Texas Tech, with a 7-5 record, versus the number 3 team in the Pac-12, which is Arizona State, with a 10-3 record. The computer says Arizona State by almost 11 points. And I'm guessing all of us will agree with that.
I'm there.
Arizona State, Earl?
Yeah,
Yep,
Yep, me too.
everybody.
especially when it's played in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's played in California,
California,
but
though.
close
Oh,
enough.
okay.
San Diego, close enough. Next one, here's a bowl game I've never heard of. The Advocare V100 Bowl.
Oh, boy.
That's on New Year's Eve. The first game on New Year's Eve at 11:30 in the morning in Shreveport, Louisiana. I think this used to be the Hall of Fame Bowl.
Okay.
My brother played in that, and that was
Yeah.
Shreveport, so I'm just guessing. This pays out $1.1 million. The Advocare V100 Bowl features now get this, the number 10 team in the SEC versus the number 7 team in the ACC. So, there's no SEC team here playing. It's Arizona 7-5 versus Boston College 7-5. Equal records. Arizona versus Boston College in Louisiana. Arizona's favored by 12.5 points.
I'll take Boston College.
I'll take Arizona.
Arizona.
And Arizona.
Okay.
I don't know anything about BC.
Got a good running back.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Forgot about him.
That's what Murph is thinking
You
over
better
there.
change your.
You know what? I'm changing my vote. Thanks. I'm going with Boston College. Next up, we have the Sun Bowl. Hawkeyes have played there several times. That's in El Paso, Texas.
Yeah.
And I believe this is the first bowl game not on ESPN. This is a CBS tradition.
Ever since it started.
Always on New Year's Eve in the afternoon.
Yeah.
This game will
Yeah.
start at 1 o'clock, and it features the number 4 team in the ACC versus the number 4 team in the Pac-12. Virginia Tech with an 8-4 record versus UCLA with a 9-3 record.
I think I'll pick UCLA.
UCLA's favored by almost 6.5 points. You got UCLA, Bud,
I got UCLA.
UCLA.
and I got UCLA. Across the board.
They have beautiful colors.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I do too.
Powder blue.
Yep. And I think they're a pretty doggone good team.
Yeah, Jim Mora Jr.'s done a good job
Yeah.
over there.
And what there wasn't a UCLA that stopped USC's win streak this year?
I think so.
Yeah.
USC fired their coach, and they
Right.
won every game they played after that until
Right.
they met UCLA. And it was a home game for USC, and UCLA
beat
whipped
'em.
them.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, now we have the Liberty Bowl, and that's in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, I've been to that game because my brother played in that too, and that was a lot of fun. Memphis at Christmas time is great. 1.4 million payout on New Year's Eve, 3 o'clock game. This will
Did you add
feature.
that payoffs. Did you add all those up?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I did try to add up all the Big Ten teams that are getting paid out, and I
Okay.
it's a lot of money. It's like 70,000 or 70 million.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Okay, so Liberty Bowl, Memphis, Tennessee, Mississippi State with a 6-6 record versus Rice with a 10-3 record. The computer picks Mississippi State by 3 points.
I'll take Rice.
I like rice and beans.
I'll take Mississippi State.
I really only like brown rice, but I'll take Mississippi State because they're an SEC team.
And I'm gonna take rice because I like rice.
Okay. Just another
With
four-letter word.
eggs.
Yeah, I like rice with anything.
Yeah.
And I like to see the SEC teams go down.
So do I, but you know, we'll see.
Next up, we have the Chick-fil-A Bowl
Oh, yeah.
in Atlanta, Georgia, which is the national headquarters for Chick-fil-A. And the only reason I know that is because my cousin just married a guy down there who works for the corporate headquarters for Chick-fil-A, and he always gives us free Chick-fil-A cards.
Yeah.
And then we come home to use them, and they're no good in Iowa. Or
And Chick-fil-A's not open on Sundays. either.
Right.
Yeah,
in honor of our Lord.
that's right.
This Chick-fil-A Bowl in Atlanta is going to pay just under $4 million to the ACC team, and just under $3 million to the SEC team. I didn't know you could do that, but
No.
they do it. It will be on New Year's Eve at 7 o'clock on ESPN, and it features the number 2 team in the ACC versus the number 5 team in the SEC. So we've got Duke with a 10-3 record versus Texas A&M with Johnny Quarterback, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Johnny football.
Texas A&M is 8-4. Texas A&M is favored by almost 8.5 points. Earl, what do you think? Texas A&M or Duke? And again, in Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, I'm going to Texas A&M.
Okay. Bud?
I'm gonna switch to Duke. I watched them play in the,
Yeah.
They're all right.
yeah.
Bob?
Texas A&M will kill them.
Attaboy.
And I'm going with Duke because I think they're underrated. And I just want to have
What
some
was the
spice
name
in
of
it.
this bowl? It used to be.
Chick-fil-A Bowl, Atlanta, Georgia.
It's been that for quite a while, hasn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
didn't we go there, Iowa, to Georgia?
Oh,
Oh, we
Peach
sure-
Bowl.
Peach
Peach
Bowl.
Bowl.
That's
Peach
right.
Bowl.
Yeah, we did.
We went there a couple times.
Chuck
And that
Long.
was New Year's Eve, too.
Yes, and
yeah.
they had a nice.
I was there at that
That was
game.
us.
We beat Tennessee.
We
That's
beat
right.
Willie Galt in Tennessee.
That's right.
Start
Yeah.
our run.
Yes, that's right. Hey, you're right.
I
And
went
they
down
have
there
a
for-
beautiful
I-
parade.
I flew down there with E.K. Jones.
Okay.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what a time.
We took a bus.
Joe, how we doing on time, my friend? Joe? 9 minutes, okay.
Okay, we're gonna get through 'em?
Next up, Heart of Dallas Bowl in Dallas, Texas. $1.1 million payout. It's the first game, the first bowl game on New Year's Day.
Okay,
North Texas, with our friend Dan McCarney,
That's
right.
right.
with an 8-4 record,
I'm picking Dan.
versus UNLV with a 7-5 record. The
I don't
computer's
care.
picking North Texas by 8 points.
Yep.
Should I say that we're all on
We're
board?
all on
Yeah.
board with Dan McCarney
Yeah,
out of
Dan
Texas.
McCarney.
yeah.
Okay. Next up is the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. Big Ten number 4 versus SEC number 6, Nebraska and Georgia. They both have 8-4 records.
I'm picking Georgia.
Bud?
I'm going Georgia.
Bob?
Georgia.
Me
They
too.
they turned back
Me too.
8,000 tickets
Yeah.
out of their line.
There won't be any
Who
Nebraska
did, buddy?
fans.
Nebraska?
Nebraska canceled all their chartered planes. That's why Iowa got so many more.
Really?
Yeah.
Outback Bowl, Tampa, Florida.
Who's playing?
SEC number 3 team versus the Big Ten number 3 team. Iowa versus LSU. LSU 9-3, Iowa 9-4, 8-4.
Iowa.
It's a no-brainer.
I believe in my
Iowa
heart.
all the way around here. right?
I believe in my heart. Listen to this. LSU is favored by almost 10.5 points.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
gonna be sorry.
And that's what I say.
I think that
Good.
dropped down to 7 now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
This
like
is as
being
of
the
last
underdog.
night.
No, last night I watched on
Yeah,
Big Ten Network.
Oh,
They
did
said
you?
it dropped down to 7. It was 9 when it stopped.
we're gonna beat them.
I think we are. I think it's just perfect setup.
You going to the Outback Bowl, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to the Wayback Bowl, way back here in Iowa. I'm
Way
watching
back.
on here on TV.
All right, next game up, Capital One Bowl in Orlando, Florida.
What was our payout? You didn't give that.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Payout for the Outback Bowl is $3.5 million
Boy.
per
Per
team.
team.
How about that?
That's good.
But boys, you ain't heard nothing yet.
That's true.
Capital One Bowl, also on New Year's Day. Number 2 team in the Big Ten versus number 2 team in the SEC. Wisconsin with a 9-3 record versus South Carolina and their pass game at 10-2. Computers picking South Carolina by less than half a point.
Oh,
What say
boy,
you,
I
Earl?
think-
What's the payoff?
Wisconsin versus South Carolina. First year coach for Wisconsin versus
Payout, he
Spurrier.
wants.
Oh, payout is $4.25 million per team.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
I have to take Wisconsin. I think
You don't
whoever
have
they
to.
play, they're going to kick them.
Bob,
Wisconsin.
I'm going Carolina.
You are?
I am.
Good luck.
Silly boy.
Next up is the Rose Bowl. $18 million per team. Michigan State 12-1 versus Stanford 11-2. Stanford is Stanford's favored by almost 8 points over.
I don't like
Michigan
Michigan
State.
State. I'm picking Stanford.
I don't, but I want the Big Ten has to get some credibility.
Oh,
somewhere
the
in
hell, the Big
Michigan
Ten,
State.
I like you, Earl. I'm not the only one that doesn't give a
No.
rat's patootie about the Big Ten when it comes to bowl games or NCAA basketball tournament. I have developed a strong hatred for just about every Big Ten team, so there's no loyalty. Sorry.
Indiana?
I'm going Michigan State.
I am with you and Bud. I think Michigan State's going to win. I think their defense is going to shine.
Yeah.
I don't think Stanford has faced a defense like they'll see
No,
against
I
Michigan
agree.
State.
And I think that conference.
But I'm pulling for Stanford to beat them.
But I do think that conference is weaker this year than I've seen it
Pac-12,
in
yeah.
ever.
Okay, next up is the Fiesta Bowl. Last game on New Year's Day. Fiesta Bowl, Glendale, Arizona. Another $18 million per team payout. UCF, Central Florida, at 11-1 versus Baylor, 11-1. Baylor's the SEC team. I'm sorry,
30
Big 12 team.
Those two teams for $36 million.
Yeah. Well, Baylor's tough. You wait till you see Baylor play.
I don't care.
Baylor's favored by 15 points.
I'll take Baylor.
Yeah.
I'll take
Bud?
Baylor.
Baylor.
Yep, we're all in agreement.
Central Michigan, they don't know.
No, Central Florida.
Or Florida, I mean.
That's a big ass
They
school.
won the
They
Big
got
I know, it's
40,000
down there by
kids.
me. I know where it's at.
They won the Big East Conference Championship.
Sugar Bowl. The next day, on Thursday, January 2nd, it's the only game that night, featuring Oklahoma at 10-2 versus Alabama at 11-1. The computer says Alabama by 3 points. What say you, Earl?
I'll say that Oklahoma
Yep.
is going to win that, but I don't know. I'm going to change that
Okay.
to Alabama.
Bud?
Yeah, I have to go with Alabama.
I got to go with Alabama. I'd love to see Oklahoma beat them.
That's
I don't
me.
think-
Me too.
I'm going with Oklahoma because I think Bob Stoops has got something up his sleeve for Saban.
All-time winningest coach at Oklahoma. You know
Is
that,
that right?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
He just went past Barry Switzer, and
Who did?
Bobby Stoops won 158, won 158 or 159.
That's great.
Yeah, at Oklahoma.
Got the elephant parade upstairs here at the Alcoholics Anonymous meeting.
Somebody-
Cotton Bowl.
Somebody probably dropped a bomb.
That's all, we're like a jug or a keg.
Sound like someone fell off the bar.
Somebody fell off the wagon.
That's right.
Hard.
Better go and check that out.
Okay, Cotton Bowl. The only, I'm sorry.
Bob, would you run upstairs and see?
Oh, yeah, I'll go and check that.
Cotton Bowl is Friday night, 7 o'clock. Missouri at 11-2 versus Okie State at 10-2. And this is what I don't get. Okie State is favored by over 7 points. And this is in Arlington, Texas. So, Earl, quickly.
I'll take Missouri.
Bud,
I'll take Missouri. Isn't it
Bob?
about time for baseball? to
Missouri.
start? What's
we're
the
all in
date on
agreement.
that
I think Missouri beats Okie State.
Yep.
Next up, Orange Bowl, Friday night after New Year's Day. Last bowl game of the night in Miami. Ohio State 12-1 versus Clemson 10-2. Ohio State is favored by just under 5 points. $18 million payoff for this game.
You're a kid.
No. Clemson versus Ohio State.
I'll take Ohio State.
Bud,
I'll take Ohio State.
Bob,
Ohio State.
we're all in agreement.
I don't know.
I got
hope
a
they
feeling
don't have
now.
the same.
Yeah.
I got a
Ending
feeling
like they
Clemson.
did.
I got a feeling Clemson's
The
going to.
last time those two played, you know what happened? You don't?
I don't
Oh,
remember.
yeah.
Oh, was that the choke game?
The Woody Hayes.
Woody Hayes.
That was it.
That's
That was
right.
the last game.
1979 or something like
minute.
that.
Okay, we're going to bypass the BBVA Compass Bowl, and we're going to bypass the GoDaddy Bowl, and we're going to go right to the BCS Championship game, which pays out $22 million.
Each.
Florida State undefeated versus Auburn 12-1. Earl,
I'll take Auburn.
Bud,
Florida State.
Bob,
Florida State.
and I'm going Florida State. And that is all the time we have for 2013.
Okay.
Bud, we'll see you when you get back in springtime.
Yep.
Bob, we'll see you next week or next year.
Next year,
Pat
January.
White's going to be joining us on behalf of Earl Murphy, Bob, and Bud. I'm Dirk saying thanks for watching Sports Opinion every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on Channel 18. And remember this, either you're a Hawk or you're not. Beat Louisiana State.
Happy holidays.
And happy holidays.
Amen.
Merry Christmas. Woo!